I want you to call me for all of wrestling's latest news and views. I've been involved in wrestling for 35 years, and nobody knows wrestling like me. Remember the number 1-900 Wrestling!
Stupid idiots.
They call me Hot Rod.
If you smell what the Rock is cooking.
And his name is John Cena.
Well, look at this, prima donna.
Thank God Donald Trump's a whole idiot.
Oh, hell yeah, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to 1-900 Wrestling, where the first minute is free and the next minute are, well, filled with intentionally missed tags and new tag team champions. Joining me as always, I am Justin Robert Young. That is Willie Dills Gregory. Willie, what's going on?
Dude, I'm super excited to talk about wrestling again with you. I stayed up real late making sure that I did not miss the pay-per-view because it was a good one. It was some have called pay-per-views in the past throwaway pay-per-views. I've heard this term. And yet, I found very little to throw away from last night's performances. Lots and lots of good stuff happened last night, man.
Yeah, no, it is... we're gonna get into it. Some stuff very historic, some stuff definitely fun to watch. I think everybody certainly got their money's worth. A few pieces of business just to get out there. Number one, this is our first ever 1-900 Wrestling that we are streaming to twitch.tv/Justin R. Young. Of course, Dills, you are a mainstay here on Twitch, but now that they've opened it up to non-gaming content,
Are we using the IRL? Is that what we're using?
We are using talk shows.
Talk shows, okay.
Because now gaming talk shows are just talk shows, and we indeed are a talk show. So
that's true.
It is good to be here. Of course,
I could throw in a little. I could talk about pro wrestling on the NES if we want, and make this gaming related.
Well, we don't have to anymore.
Dude, oh God, I have a song, a parody idea. Have you heard? Oh, I shouldn't even say it. Like, we should just do it.
Just do it.
I'll
file
say
it. File it away.
Have you heard the I'm a motherfucking star boy?
Oh yeah. The Weekend. Yeah.
Yeah. We gotta make I'm a motherfucking star man, and then have like the star man like face on and just that guy doing a bunch of stuff. It'd be hilarious. Anyway,
I feel like we could definitely get back into the NES pro wrestling Starman. Absolutely.
He's the only memorable character from that video game. All right.
Indeed. And that was confirmed to be the inspiration for Stardust, right?
Oh, really? Is that true?
Well, he's a huge video game nerd.
No way. I mean, it would make sense. He was literally a guy with a star on his face. I mean, that's...
So he was indeed. Starman.
That was his gimmick.
All right. So much to talk about. But here is the biggest thing. Patreon.com/1900 Wrestling. There once, kids, was a time when 1-900 numbers were a thing. You could call in, get the newest tips and tricks and news and views. Maybe that's what we should do. We should just... Like, whenever we are just, drunk and watching wrestling, we should just leave, those same voicemails and just make them available to patrons.
Sure. No, that'd be great, actually. Just have like, a little, people could actually call in to some number.
And it'll just be our...
Be idiots on the phone. I'd love it, yeah.
Just be idiots on the phone.
Lou Albano. And you've done, just go for it. All right.
But the way that you can support this show is going to patreon.com/1900 Wrestling, and hashtag Dills to Mania has officially begun in earnest. If between now and WrestleMania, we can make $1,000 total. It's not my cut. It's not Dill's cut. It all goes to Dills' ticket. We will be on the floor for this year's WrestleMania.
Dudes, I need your help, For only the cost of a cup of coffee an episode, you can help a poor, cold Texas boy by way of San Francisco get to WrestleMania this year. And, we don't know any of the matches.
None of the matches. We can take some guesses.
I can guess. We can start to guess. I think we can start.
Although, this is the most wide open that I think it's been in a long time, right? Because you can put together 3 or 4 different main events.
There's definitely there's definitely some speculation out there in the interwebs about what the main event should be. But I think honestly, the way things are stacking up right now, about 4 of the matches that actually will be there could be like WrestleMania main events, right? They will be down the card, and yet those would be legitimate WrestleMania main events. I think.
Oh
Like,
yeah.
we're gonna have some sweet stuff going on this year.
I mean, we are in a great place, but let's go ahead and focus on what we saw last night. Roadblock : end of the line.
Yeah.
By the way, I watched. This is the second Roadblock that we've had this year, 2016, metaphorically and in the WWE universe, just chock full of roadblocks.
They've decided, screw it. We don't need to rename every single pay-per-view. We'll just call this Takeover blank.
Well, I think they
Take
had
over this, take over that, end of the line, like whatever. Just tack something on and it's fine.
Well, I think they had to, because like at some point, because they're thinking about like the WWE network, people watching this
Yeah.
in years, right? And if they can't have January or February Roadblock and then December Roadblock, and it's like no,
Exactly.
they were 2 different things.
But also, if the theme of it is somewhat similar, then it's okay to reuse these. Like, I think you can reuse these titles with this little addendum added on, and it's totally like I think this actually works.
Oh,
really well.
sure, yeah.
You
I
have
mean,
to do 2 friggin' pay-per-views a month now, right? So a unique name, 24 unique names, Justin. That seems ridiculous.
By the way, the Buck RI in the chat room, Roadblock : end of the line : based on a novel by Sapphire.
Based on the novel Push
by
Sapphire.
Sapphire. There you go.
God.
So in a little prep, I watched the first Roadblock, which was of course main evented by Dean Ambrose versus Triple H. It was Triple H's kind of like working his way back into shape match. It also featured the Revival versus Enzo and Cass as an NXT feud. It was fantastic. That match is just insane. Go back and watch it. Like Triple H, Dean Ambrose is amazing.
Now. So the original Roadblock was in Toronto, Ontario, Canada.
Yep.
And yeah, Triple H versus Dean Ambrose for the WWE World Heavyweight title. Okay, so that was when Triple H was actually holding the title too.
So it was right after Royal Rumble.
Yeah.
Triple H had injured Roman Reigns because remember he basically was like MIA for the build to WrestleMania.
Mm-hmm.
And Dean Ambrose came in, challenged him for the title since Dean Ambrose was the last one eliminated, not Roman Reigns by Triple H. And they had just a great match. It included a false finish where the crowd totally bought it and thought that Dean had won the title.
I remember this now. Yeah.
Dean comes off the corner and puts Triple H through the announce table and then does the DX like on the floor like crotch chop. It was hot, but lot to live up to last night, and immediately history in the making. New Day loses to Cesaro and Sheamus. I thought the match was excellent. I very much enjoyed it. But I can't help but feel like, and I don't think that there's really any way to get around this, but they wanted to show New Day breaking the record through whatever, either they're like pissed off at Demolition or they want to reward the New Day, which I think that they are very much in their rights to do because the New Day's great. But it did feel a little perfunctory, right? Like it felt like this is the time for them to drop the title. It probably has been the time for them to drop the title for the last month or so.
Well, no, I definitely think that there's been a little bit of New Day as champion fatigue kind of a feeling going around. Like there's lots of other great tag teams doing great things, but they just can't get the belts off these guys, right? And for good reasons. I think breaking the record was something that they should do.
Deserved. Well deserved.
I think that they've really revitalized the whole tag division, and they've turned what was essentially a terrible gimmick into the best gimmick.
Yeah.
For a tag team, and of course They brought back the Freebird rule, which is really
Which
interesting, and
which
now being
now is
utilized
just
by both no longer, but
yeah.
the SmackDown Tag Team Champions are also now using it. So that's back. That's now a thing. The Freebirds have never been talked about more. What do you think about that, by the way?
I
Are you a
mean,
fan?
oh sure. I mean, I think it gets more people over ultimately because I think that what I hope is next for the New Day are challenging for singles titles. Like
Yes.
I want to see Big E go after the the United States title. I would like
Yeah.
to see Kofi and Xavier Woods challenge other people. I think that they're so great.
I'd like to see Xavier Woods in the ring again, to be honest. I mean, he's actually pretty good, and
Oh, he's great.
he doesn't get to actually do it very much. He's kind of he's the guy with the trombone now, right? So
Yeah. So
yeah, get him back in there wrestling.
I think that they are insanely talented, and they have elevated those titles to the point where they can now move on. It felt like something for Cesaro and Sheamus to win them. And let me ask you this: this is something that I got brought up on Aubrey Sitterson's Straight Shoot podcast that I was on last week. What is with Cesaro being so much better in tag teams than he is as a single wrestler?
I think it's that style of tag team wrestling where there's just so much going on. He gets to do spots like he did. I think it was a week ago on Raw where they had like
Where
a
he just
triple
murders
threat
everybody.
tag team thing.
Yeah.
And he was just like going off, right? He's hitting dudes from the club, and then he's jumping out. New Day guys are going down. He's doing spinning uppercuts, and it's he's got that like kind of hectic style, and he just shines when he gets to do that. The running back and forth, the running uppercuts, like to each side of the ring, like all that kind of stuff is so fun to watch. And he gets to do that in a tag team. Like in a singles match, it's hard to make those spots feel natural, right? Because it's just two guys.
And it's
But
also, he looks more likable when he's next to somebody who's kind of unlikable. He
No, I
was
guess that's a
very
good point,
likable.
too.
He was very likable next to Jack Swagger, who, for whatever you think of Jack Swagger, he is not exactly a charisma magnet, right?
No.
He is very charismatic next to Tyson Kidd, who
By the way,
is
speaking of Jack Swagger, real quick, what happened? They had a whole angle where he was like,
on.
"I'm coming to SmackDown," and then nothing.
He looked like college town drug dealer, right? He was just
Yeah,
like,
but he like showed it. He did commentary. Like
yeah.
it was a whole thing. It was him and Heath Slater were like the odd men out kind of.
Yeah.
And so they were kind of like shoehorning him back in. Heath Slater got a big payoff. And Swagger, I guess maybe he smoked some more weed or something. I don't know.
I
But
mean, if there's one thing that SmackDown has also kind of proven to be good at is that if something's kind of not working,
Sure.
they just never mention it again.
Yeah,
it
yeah.
just goes
Let it
away.
go. Yeah.
Like Kurt Hawkins kind of just
Yeah.
went away immediately. Like, so yeah. I mean, I think that's he's. It was interesting. I mean, he was great. The Real Americans were great with him and Cesaro.
Oh, dude, they were so over, man.
Super
the We
over.
the People chant was, I think when I saw the live event where they did that, that was louder than the Yes chant, which is kind of crazy. But everyone was ready and queued up for the We the People. Like they loved it. And Tyson Kidd, God bless Tyson Kidd, man, missed that guy. But those two were the hottest thing in the tag team division.
But even then, he was accessible because he was a weirdo, right? Like that was his character was like, I love my cats and I'm kind of weird. And like
he came out with the headphones on. It was like, he was getting in the zone. Then he had like the cat hoodie and it was that guy was awesome.
But Cesaro
fit right in with him.
Next to them, you're like Cesaro's the coolest guy on the planet. Sheamus the same way. Who's playing this like really arrogant dickwad. You're like, Cesaro's amazing. So I think they're great. Who do you want to see them lock it up with?
To be honest, I kind of feel like this was a solidification of their storyline.
Yeah.
And I think more than who they feud with, I think the biggest thing that's going to happen now with them is now their eventual decline again, their partnership. We're going to have some fun moments. and then it's going to dissolve, and then we'll put the title on a real tag team, and they'll move back into singles. I think. This is what
So
I
you
kinda
think
see happen.
that this tag team, our new tag team champions, are destined for the WrestleMania pre-show? Like this is
I think
going to
they're-
be the
I think
big
we're gonna
match on
see
the
more
pre-show.
Cesaro Sheamus matches coming up pretty soon. Yeah, but now they'll have a more solid reason, right? Because the teammates gone sour thing.
Yeah.
Will really put some oomph behind a feud there, and you can already see them teasing it. I mean, it's kind of the Miz and Damian Mizdow thing where they're
Yeah.
doing the yay boo, and
But you want to know, I mean, did you watch Raw Talk? I know you were up super late, but
I did not. I actually fell asleep right after, like as the credits roll or whatever, as the logo comes up, I was like, cool, I'm out.
Yeah. So Charlie Caruso did a really, really good job. Booker T was the substitute Daniel Bryan. True story. The lights went out. The lights went out on the entire set. Like they had a total power failure during the show. But Cesaro and Sheamus came on. I thought they were great, and they did one of those textbook sort of like worked shoot sort of wrestling promos where they were complaining about like how everybody thought that they sucked and that nobody wanted to see their best of 7 series, and now here they are, the crowd's cheering and they feel underappreciated. I thought it was fantastic. I agree with you though. I think that we could see them getting beat fairly quickly.
And it's probably the club, to be honest.
I hope.
Yeah, because the club, I think first of all, I think they're the best, like, pure wrestling tag team that is in Raw right now. Because Raw is what? Enzo and Cass, Sheamus Cesaro, Golden Truth.
Yeah.
And the Shining Stars.
Oh yeah, the shining star of the Caribbean.
Come to Puerto Rico. So you've got out of those teams, the most, I think, legitimate champions, I think, are definitely Luke Gallows, Carl Anderson. But and plus, I think that I thought they were going to beat the New Day at some point, and they kept not getting there, right?
Yeah.
And I think a lot of people wanted to see the belts get on them at some point. So yeah, that'd be kind of cool. Like I think we transition with Sheamus and Cesaro. That pushes their story. We allow the club to then be essentially a superpower heel tag team.
Well,
I think dominate for a while.
I think the issue though is that there's not 2 storylines in the tag division. So if you're not in the title picture, then you're kind of not on television. Whereas I would love to see. Listen, let Sheamus and Cesaro go for the next 2 months being the champion and being awesome. But let the club beat the living crap out of everybody.
Yeah, just prove that they're the most dominant
just
force, right?
whip ass to the point where it's like somebody calls the cops reflexively like that. I just want to see them be
I can
brutal.
even see the angle being essentially that they're pissed that like they've been here now for a while, and this tag team that's not even a real tag team has now gotten the titles before them. And so, like, they're screw playing around. No more dumb doctor jokes. We're not putting walnuts in jars anymore.
Yeah.
We're here to kick ass, right?
We're just whipping ass.
I could see that.
Speaking of ass kickings, Braun Strowman faced Sami Zayn in what I initially thought was just going to be like NWA style time limit, right? Instead of it being a timed thing on the screen, just say like, this is a match with a 10-minute time limit.
Sure.
Like Braun Strowman
this match is scheduled for one fall with a time limit of 60 minutes, and then you just move past that, right? Because it never happened.
But
no.
Normally the storytelling with those matches is that you forget what the time limit is. And so something crazy is about to happen. The bell seems to ring a little bit early, and the thing that you thought happened didn't happen because the time limit expired. Right?
No, this was very much, this was the timer itself was a character in this storyline.
Yeah, so Sami Zayn comes out and gets the crap kicked out of him. He does his Bambi on ice routine as he wobble legs through the ring.
The wobbly legs, the vacant eyes. He's very good at getting the crap kicked out of him.
He is very, very, very good at pretending he has a concussion. Like he has.
I love the ref is like, Sammy, can you continue? No response. Okay, keep fighting.
Keep
All right,
fighting, keep
He's
fighting.
fine.
It's like right now, because in sports is a big thing that it's like, oh, people are trying to pretend that they don't have concussions to not be
Sure.
in the concussion protocol. Sami Zayn's the opposite. Whenever it's
No.
like he's just like showing all the concussion symptoms. Like, I
Sammy
would.
has had 75 concussions this year alone. And yet they let him continue,
And like stuff that you wouldn't even notice. It's like, how does he get his pupils to dilate like that? Like, I've
Yeah.
been a medical professional for years, and this is indistinguishable.
Oh my God. I mean, it's funny to watch because now we've seen it a bunch of times and yet he is so good at selling it that every time I like in the middle of the match, I was like, God, stop the match.
Stop the
oh
damn
my God,
match.
this poor man.
Well, somebody,
He's
I mean,
brutalized. And then, of
that's where
course,
you need Jim Ross, right? That was Jim Ross was just so good at the like.
Oh, there was a lot of good gods in there.
Oh,
at
come
just
on
waiting.
now.
Yeah.
Come on, just stop. Pride ain't worth it. Pride ain't worth it, Sammy.
By the way, so what did you think? What did you think about the whole, the towel and all that, and like Braun Strowman? Because some people on the internet, which
Yeah.
I know is not known for people having weird and strong opinions.
Sure,
and
yeah.
sharing them.
Mm-hmm.
The internet is just a place for cat pictures, as far as I know. But then I found out, unbeknownst to me last night, that some people on the internet did not like the storytelling or the match itself.
I mean, I don't know what people want. Like, to be honest, it's like as soon as you knew what the stip was, you knew what the match was going to be.
Sure.
And all anybody wants before is like, well, if Braun's supposed to be a monster, why doesn't he look like a monster? Okay, he looks like a monster here. Well, if Sammy's
does.
going to be on the roster, why isn't he the super white meat, I can do anything babyface? Well, now Sammy's the super all white meat, I can do anything babyface. Like, I mean, that's what the story is. The story is what I think we all want. So
so I'll say this. People were saying like it didn't make sense or whatever, but it made total sense. Like I actually read these comments, to be honest, before I actually watched the match because I got spoiled on this one. I clicked a thread I shouldn't have clicked, and I was like, oh no, now I know what happened. But when I watched it, I was like, what in the hell is wrong with these people? This makes total sense. You got a whole conversation with Braun where he is basically like he doesn't even care about winning the match. Like literally doesn't care. He just wants to kill Sami Zayn.
Well, and he's arrogant and kind of dumb, and he doesn't just pin him immediately. Like he picks him apart, and then he wants to make Foley submit basically to say no, you should quit for him. Like, he is just too dumb. I just want to keep beating him. And then Sammy comes back.
Then Sammy just basically, like, runs out of the way of 3 charging bulls
yes.
In a row. And, and that's enough to get him. And then hits one
haluva
kick. And that's all he needed, right? So,
yeah,
I thought it was great. I think, though, I guess the one thing I did agree some people is maybe they were supposed to have him hit a second one, but the timer was lower than they expected at that moment.
I would not be shocked if that was kind of screwed up, the timing on that. Because again, the way that the storytelling goes on these matches is that the impossible is about to happen, and it's 1, 2, time runs out, 3, and now it's like you thought that Sammy could beat him, but like he didn't technically beat him. So I was on guard for that, knowing how that storytelling normally goes. But then again, maybe it wasn't because we had another timing match that had another timing finish later in the night. So maybe they didn't want to do 2 of the same thing.
I mean, that would probably be a little bit awkward. You're right, because the other one definitely the timer had a huge factor.
Yeah. All right. So we have really the co-story main events of the night were the 2 matches between 2/3 of the Shield, Seth Rollins and Roman Reigns, versus the kind of, sort of, maybe best friends of Chris Jericho and Kevin Owens. We get a lot of story up top of Kevin Owens continuing to piss off Chris Jericho, tries to make amends, can't make amends. Jericho goes into the match with Rollins. What'd you think?
I thought it was a really good match just in general. And then of course the fact that obviously like Seth Rollins and Chris Jericho are both guys who could just go, right? I
Yeah.
mean they put on great matches, and we saw some amazing stuff. I was actually watching the match and I was thinking, like, we have come so far in wrestling now that we've got a guy like in his 40s, taking bump after bump after bump and putting on a sick match, and this is just what's expected of
Yeah.
them now. I mean, there was a time in wrestling where you go out for a match and you take maybe 10 bumps or something like that, put on a couple of big spots. A lot of it was just kind of storytelling, rest holds, and stuff like that. But this was just like go, go, go from the beginning to the end of this match. And I'm watching just like, I'm so impressed. Every time I think Chris Jericho is like just here to put people over and kind of at the end of the line, he's like, no, man, I got plenty of gas in the tank. Put some tacks in my back. Let's do this.
He's go. He's a lunatic.
He's amazing.
He's actually a crazy person. Like,
I think so.
Because for a while, like, he just didn't like the writing on the television shows, so he was just touring house shows.
Yeah.
He wasn't on television. He was just going to go around and just wrestle because he liked wrestling. Like,
he just wants to wrestle. He just wants to, he wants to get in there and mix it up. It's great. And then of course you had Kevin Owens come out and try to help. Of course, it didn't go as planned, and so now I guess the end of an era, the Chris Jericho Kevin Owens friendship
is over.
Seems to have the nail in the coffin here, and I guess we're setting up a feud between the two of them.
It leads to a very awkward backstage, where Kevin Owens is trying to talk to Chris Jericho.
Yeah.
But I don't quite know where that's like. We like them because they're funny. We don't like them because they're bad people. So like when they're friends, it's funny because it's two assholes being friends with each other.
Sure.
I don't know how much we really care about their feelings on whether or not they are really going to be best friends. So that I feel like a bit was awkward. Let's put a pin in it for now, though. And we can skip through the cruiserweight match unless you have some burning take on that to what happened afterward.
I think we don't have to really talk about the match itself because it was a little bit of here's these three guys. These guys matter.
Yeah.
But what really matters, obviously, is Neville coming out and being the Brock Lesnar now of the cruiserweight division.
Yeah, no, the Brock Lesnar of Gymboree. He just like walks in and just destroys everybody. Comes out with the cape. I like the Austin Aries, saying that he was disrespectful of his cape as he also has a cape.
I can't believe he threw it on the floor. Yeah. By the way, Austin, I like that they're taking the cruiserweight division and putting guys like Neville and Austin Aries into the mix because it started as here's a bunch of guys that you might not know.
Yeah.
From other places. We brought them all in. And now I think a lot more people are going to care knowing that now there's all these guys, but there's also Neville now. Like, this is where Neville goes. He belongs there.
Well, and also it's like
and Austin Aries obviously is a person a lot of people know. So
for everybody who's like, oh, they've done squat with the cruiserweights. You gave good television time specifically to T.J. Perkins, to Brian Kendrick, to Rich Swann, and to Cedric, right? And so now we know these guys that either we didn't know before or in Brian Kendrick's case was on television a very long time ago. So now that you know those four, you can mix in guys that you've known about, and now they mean something more. But you need to do that. And, like, it might have not been what everybody wanted, but now you know that T.J. Perkins is kind of a sucker and knows it. You know that Rich Swann has Brian Kendrick's number. You know that Brian Kendrick is a dirty snake in the grass that'll do anything to win. You didn't know that before. Now we do.
No, they would have just been anonymous guys trying to take on Neville, and that wouldn't have worked as well.
No, because you wouldn't care.
The other thing too is I wonder, because so many people were wondering where's Neville, where's his storyline, what's he doing, why is he not on TV? Because it's true, when me and you went to see Raw, him nearly beating Seth Rollins was
huge,
like one of the highlights of the night, right?
Yeah.
And people still talk about that. He hit the red arrow on Seth Rollins, and looked like he had won the
Yeah.
title, and
That was
everyone
that
went
was a
crazy.
great
He was over as
a
hell.
great foot on the ropes because it happened because he brought Seth Rollins' foot too far. It wasn't
Yeah,
Seth Rollins
when he
doing
went
it.
for the he tucked the leg and he pulled him all the way over till his foot hit the rope. Seth Rollins didn't have anything to do with it.
Yeah.
Seth Rollins was beat.
It's out.
But like he was over, man. People loved Neville. He won Superstar of the Year, whatever it was that one year, Rookie of the Year, whatever it was. I can't remember. He won a Slammy.
He did.
The guy's definitely done stuff. And then all of a sudden he was just gone. But now here's the payoff to him being gone for so long. You missed him. You wondered. You wanted him on TV. And then he shows up to the big face pop.
Yeah.
But the heel turn after the big return face pop is so much stronger, right? Because everyone was like, oh, God, it's Neville. What is he doing?
Oh, and just literally decimated everybody and didn't give us the red arrow because the red arrow as a heel finisher is going to be great. I almost wonder whether or not he's going to do something other than his two fingers together.
Thing? Well,
yeah.
He could give himself like some devil horns or something.
Yeah,
before.
or make the middle fingers. I feel like that's going to be the way to
fingers.
go.
There you go.
So no, I was in love with that. I think that was really, really well done. Do we want to get into this? Because I'll tell you, we're running long on time already. Sasha Charlotte.
To talk about so.
Sasha Charlotte. What do you think?
That was brutal, man. You don't expect to see women's matches where at the end one of them is like there was a lot of color there at the end.
Red equals green, baby. She had the full Andrew WK, like just
she
like
she went. Yeah, I think she was just trying to celebrate Christmas, right?
She
just
was
went red and green. Yeah. No, but I mean, Sasha looked just tore up at the end of that match, and Charlotte looked strong as hell, man.
Yeah.
They both look strong as hell, but Charlotte is a friggin' monster in the women's division. I loved it, man. It was an awesome match. Might have been actually the best match of the night.
But Dills, what about hot potatoing the title? Oh, there's too many changing of the titles. Why did they change the title so much?
Are you telling me that these two women are fairly evenly matched and they can win or lose on any given night? That's completely unrealistic. I will not accept this, Justin.
I get the idea that, yes, listen, hot potatoing the title can be the sign of crappy booking and has in the past been the sign of crappy booking. But to me, to only focus on the fact that the title went back and forth between them a bunch of times and not look at the matches that got us to those title changes is ignoring all the context. Like I can't take that as valid criticism when you watch how good all those matches were. And the fact that it's like, all right, sure, Charlotte lost in her hometown. Sasha lost in her hometown. This is the whole point of this was to say that this is the feud by which all female division feuds are going to be measured by from here on. As long as these two are in the company, everyone's going to measure all those stories. Now,
sure. A lot of people in chat right now are talking about how they did not like the finish. And to those people, I say, have you ever watched one of these matches? Because that's always how it works. There's nothing weird or new here. There's always a miracle finish to these like 60-minute Iron Man matches. Like that's
listen,
this was what, 30-minute
30-minute Iron Man match. There's only two stories you can tell, right? There's the one person goes up a bunch of falls. And then somebody has to crawl back.
Slowly catches up.
Or
right?
they're even, and then one goes up one, and then you have to tie it, and it goes to overtime. Or they're tied, and somebody wins in the last second.
This always works. And I've seen these, like this is like the 30th one I've watched, and it's you know why it's predictable, because that's what they do every single time.
I mean, listen, that's
It's
just a
wrestling.
limitation of that match, right? And there's a reason
Yeah.
why you don't do a lot of them, because there's only so many stories that you can tell with it.
I mean, you could just blow everyone out of the water and just have a squash 30-minute Iron Man match where someone just wins 5-0.
but this is supposed to be
But if you want to have a
the
squash
blow
match,
off, right?
yeah,
This is
exactly. Do the squash match and then the 10-minute, whatever, 5-minute squash match. So it was the idea was that they're so evenly matched that after 30 minutes of brutal battle, we still can't even decide a winner, right?
yeah, and
that,
also
to me, was a good story.
like she spent a solid 10 minutes working on her leg before she put the final hold on her, right? Like it wasn't like it was just like, oh no, because it's the final seconds, the hold is more powerful.
Yeah.
They told in my mind, they told a very compelling physical story. That final, the only thing I'd say is, man, it would have been great, especially with the way that Sasha had the blood on her face.
If Sasha walks out the champion, yeah.
No. If Charlotte wins, but Sasha does the Stone Cold blood on the face.
Oh, the pass out. Sure. Yeah, the pass out would have been great too. Yeah, but there's also only so many times you can do the pass out. I remember for a while they kept having people do the pass out with Rusev.
Yeah,
and I was like, not everyone has the heart of a Stone Cold Steve Austin.
Exactly.
Like, they can't all be doing the pass out. That's a huge moment. You got to give that to the right people, So, I think the story that was told here is one that I really enjoyed, and I'm looking forward to seeing them continue to go off on each other, because it's like two of the best wrestlers in women wrestlers that we've seen in a really long time, I think.
Yeah.
In WWE anyway, going out. I mean, I watched some TNA women's matches that were just brutal.
Yeah.
And this was like, had that feeling. Lots of insane spots, You watch women's wrestling, and a lot of times you're used to a lot of fake punching and hair pulling, right? For years. That's kind of what we watched. And here you've got Charlotte, friggin' doing backflips and landing on nothing, just hitting the floor.
Yeah.
As hard as she can. Like that's women's wrestling now. Like you now get to expect it's not going to be the match you fast forward through, because there's going to be some crazy spots and some good action. So, I think they solidified that. It's continuous. It's great.
So what's the WrestleMania match?
The WrestleMania match? I mean, I think these two stay at it. They got to be involved somehow.
No, this was the end. They made a point to say this was the end. No rematch clause in the contract. This was I think they're going to cool off Sasha and Charlotte for now.
So then what? Bayley steps in? I mean,
that's what I think. I mean,
okay.
I think now it's mega athlete Charlotte and Jeremy Lundy in the chat room says Eva and Dana for both belts. So maybe Eva and Dana for a title unification match.
All right.
But I would love time to heat up Bayley. Let's get this Bayley train rolling. I can
definitely see that, because she's got the ultimate underdog thing going for her, and obviously now Charlotte is the monster heel that you can't get through, right?
Yeah.
So,
and she can say, "Hey, you're not Charlotte, and I just beat Charlotte."
Yeah.
Or I just beat Sasha to Bayley. She can that can be the thing. All right, KO Reigns, you were fading at the point that you were watching this.
Yeah. But I did really enjoy it. I mean, I love Kevin Owens. He's one of my favorites, and I thought they put on a fantastic match. Great match.
What'd you think about the end?
I mean, to be honest, at that point,
were you awake for the end?
Yeah.
Okay, so you know what happened.
Yeah.
That Jericho came out and ended the match.
Jericho comes back out.
Yeah.
Wait, I might not remember everything now that I think about it. Hold on a second.
I knew it. I knew you did. I knew you fell asleep. Jericho comes out, hits the code breaker on Kevin Owens, but it's
yes, I do remember.
But it's so Kevin Owens can win.
It disqualified Roman Reigns.
Disqualified Roman Reigns. Kevin Owens is still your Universal Champion.
Yes.
the best friends are back together, and to symbolize their friendship bracelet for each other is they both have to eat Shield power bombs through announce tables.
Yeah. Okay. So there's a couple things here that I thought were great. One is that Kevin Owens gets hit with a code breaker and immediately is like, thank you. Like there was not even like a moment of him being mad or whatever. He kind of had a confused look for a second. But then Jericho was like, I did it for you, buddy. Come on, let's go. And he was like, oh, and he was like immediately on board with the fact that this was his.
Well, he was
taking the code
relieved, man.
breaker.
He had spent the whole 2 hours trying to figure out if they were friends or not. Now they're friends. Yeah. Sure, a couple knees to the mouth, like that's just between brothers.
Sure, yeah. I mean, it's no big deal. If that's what it takes to revive our friendship, to get my best friend back, then sure. But the other thing too was all the tables got wrecked, but then they even wrecked the table that's far away from the ring.
Yeah,
I think that's the first time we've seen that. It was awesome. Have we seen them wreck that new spot that they sit now on Raw? I don't think they've been over there.
I feel like they have, but I'm not.
I don't think they have. Like, okay,
no, because Sasha moonsaulted off it, right?
We've definitely seen some action over by there, but I don't think we've seen the full like bomb through the table breaks and all that kind of stuff yet.
Yeah,
because they only moved there when they did the brand split.
It is amazing though how much the crowd, which continually, especially pay-per-view crowds, just hate Reigns, and they mock the ooh-ah is boo for if he's just in the ring by himself. But if he's about to powerbomb somebody, everybody, unironic, ooh-ah.
Everyone's on board. Everyone's on board for anything Shield related.
Anything Shield related.
But did you see the tribute to the troops thing where they had the Shield like hanging out in the back apparently, and they were talking about who the greatest teams were, and then the Shield walked up, and all three of them were just now all cool with each other apparently in the back.
Yeah, it was Shield, Bullet Club.
It was Shield, Bullet Club, and New Day.
And New Day, right? No,
yeah,
that was,
they were like talking. Yeah, so it was like AJ Styles and.
No, I saw that segment on the internet, but I was looking to watch Tribute for the Troops, but it's not on the network and it's not on Hulu, so I had no idea even where to watch it.
You got to go to the watchwrestling.net, man.
Oh, the dark corners.
Shady characters over there, but sometimes that's the only way you can find some of this.
All right, well here we go. Let's get into our bit. One of the things that we are very, very proud of on this show is that we are not just here for our amateur wrestling opinions, but no, we are here for the games. Dills, you have prepared a game for me to play against the chat. So chat, get ready. How would you describe the game we are about to play?
So, one of the things, if you've been a wrestling fan for a long time, one of the things that everybody knows is that the moment someone's music hits, the crowd instantly knows who that is and react. It's, the big pop happens. You hear CM Punk, everyone goes crazy, right?
Yeah.
So what I've got here is I've got a collection of just the opening bits here of some of these wrestlers' themes. And these are not, I'm not going super obscure.
Yeah.
But you definitely aren't going to hear like The Rock, right?
Sure.
I'm going to give you some stuff that might be a little tough.
But you're also not going like Matt Seidel's Evolve theme or something, right?
No, yeah, exactly. Yeah, we don't have like the Boogie Monster in here. We don't have, we're not getting super weird with it. But
by the way, that was my favorite part when the lights went out on Raw Talk. So all the lights go out, and all of a sudden, all you hear is just there's nothing on the screen. It's a pitch black screen, and Booker T just starts screaming, "Is it the Boogeyman?" Last time this happened, the Boogeyman was around. It was great. I loved it.
So here's the way this is gonna work, and for the audio listeners, you should really join up and watch the live show because you're gonna get to play the game. All right. So
yeah.
Live, the people who are chatting, there is a slight delay because we are on Twitch.
Yeah.
So you will have, Justin, you will have a little bit of an advantage here.
Which I should have a little bit of an. I mean, it's my show. So. I need a little bit of an advantage.
I think so. That being said, though, you will also be going up against about whatever it is, like 30, 40 people or whatever, right?
Exactly. Yeah.
So,
We are
yeah,
currently,
so they have the
currently
advantage
at
in
40,
numbers.
40 people live.
Yeah, they have the advantage in numbers, but
Yeah.
you have the advantage with just a little bit extra time here. So we're gonna play a little bit of the opening theme.
Yeah.
You'll hear just some opening chords, and then it'll stop. Generally, you're gonna get about 1 to 2 to 5 seconds. Some of them are about 5 seconds, I think. And just tell me who that is.
All right, here we go.
Let's pop for the guy.
Here is our first. I believe that is Batista's "I Walk Alone."
Correct, sir. That is
Nice.
Batista. Oh, look,
Nice.
you beat Jeremy Lundy. Jeremy Lundy was in there.
Yes.
Jeremy
I
Lundy
know,
was
dude.
in there.
Jeremy Lundy. Oh my God, Jeremy Lundy, you're just nipping at my butt. Holy smokes! I thought this chat was supposed to be laggy.
Apparently not, dude. They're ready to go, man.
All right.
All right. So let's see. Let's go move into number 2. This is again another one I think you would know.
Okay. That, of course, is the siren screech of Bret Hart and the entire Hart family.
Instantly, yeah. So that was one of my favorites as a kid. Was just that initial guitar. Like, I love that.
Yeah.
It was just like you didn't need to hear anything else after that. To be honest, going back through, I barely remembered the rest of his theme song.
Oh, the
But I literally, like, after that moment, I oftentimes stopped paying attention. I just was
yeah.
like, oh yeah, well now I'm just gonna watch him give his glasses to a lucky kid and
Well,
get out there.
and that's also really where you started to get the Finkel, right? Where it was just like from Calgary, Alberta, Canada.
Yeah, that's true too. Yeah. But yeah, I knew I was ready to watch some excellent execution at that point. So
Yeah, I'll tell you
all
what,
right,
man.
let's
Jeremy,
try number 3. Let's see if you can remember this one.
All right.
This one might be a little tougher.
this is me versus Jeremy Lundy. Jeremy Lundy is just riding right up my butt.
Jeremy
on
Lundy's on it, man.
He is on
Holy
it.
crap.
Are you ready?
Oh, that is Degeneration X.
Wow. You instantly knew this one as well.
Instantly knew that one. Yeah, that one. Well,
This is our wheelhouse, right? This is like
that's literally like if I could have a you know how like when DX would come to the ring, they would intercut between their Titantron and then coming to the ring. That I want that with my adolescence. Just me shyly not talking to girls and like struggling with acne. Like that is basically the song of my adolescence. Is that "Are You Ready" theme song?
it was like I remember as a kid when I was watching wrestling, just being like, oh man, this is so like I feel like this is dirty. This is really dirty. I like it. I feel like I'm getting away with something here.
It's about to the masters.
All right, let's see if you can grab this one. I think you'll get to.
I'm 3 for 3. Here we go. Oh, listen, come on. This is what you play when you're walking into the room to have sex with your friend's wife on camera, like just full to the brim, ready to drop the N-bomb. What you gonna do, brother, when Hulkamania runs wild on you?
See, this is what I love about wrestling, by the way. Now, look, I know I'm not fooling anyone with some deep cuts here yet, but the fact is, you're hearing like a tiny snippet of a song.
Of course.
And you instantly know who this is. And all of chat instantly knows as well.
Dude, I'm not going to lie.
Great.
Like, just getting, like, that initial crack high of these themes is getting me so excited. It's so
It's all you need, man.
It's all you
just
need.
that
I'm
little
like
tiny bit at
on
the
pins
beginning.
and needles, man. Anybody, are you, like, feeling the adrenaline course through your veins? Here we go.
All right, this one, I predict that this one might be the first one you take some time with, but maybe not. Maybe not.
Okay, here we go. That, my friends, is from New York City, John Bradshaw Layfield.
Wow. You're good. You're good, Jerry. I give you a lot of credit. Look, we've heard it many times, but
Yeah.
it's been a while.
Been a while.
It's been a while.
Been a while.
He's
No, that was my favorite part of his entrance is that he has this Dallas theme, right? And he comes in the limo with the steer horns on him.
with the steer horns on the front
And then he's announced from New York City.
from New York City.
Oh,
Yeah,
I love
absolutely.
it. That's my
He's got a
favorite part.
giant cowboy hat on. and
Giant
a
cowboy
suit.
hat.
Yeah.
Big Dallas asshole from New York City. Immediately, he's a hypocrite, like from his announcement. All right, here we go.
He was like the original to me, like the original like before I knew who Donald Trump was, I knew that I hated like rich
that you
assholes,
hated
right?
JBL.
Yeah.
All right.
All right. This one oh god. Okay. Well, I just want to hear this one, honestly. So just
All
go
right.
ahead and play it.
Oh, it's true, Dills. It's damn true. The 3 I's: integrity, intelligence, and what's the third eye? I'm Rick Perrying the third eye. Kurt Angle, of course. What is it? Intelligence, inspiration?
It's probably inspiration.
Oh man, somebody get me all
wait,
3
no,
I's.
intelligence is one.
Yeah.
Crap.
Integrity's the other
intelligence.
one.
Intensity, right?
Intensity. That's it.
Yeah.
The 3 I's.
Yeah, he was as intense as they get. The other thing too, obviously, is my favorite was when the actual music would kick in, and the crowd with the you suck.
Yeah.
You suck.
You
Yeah.
suck. By the way, WrestleMania for Angle.
I mean,
things
it's gotta
are
happen soon, right?
things are in. I mean, listen, he did his public penance tour. He went on every radio station, talked about how he's in recovery, what it means to be in recovery, why he was a addict, and why the WWE was right to let him go. Like, I think he's done his tour. I think we are closer than we think to a Kurt Angle return.
I just one thing that I don't want though is I don't want to feel nervous watching it. So I hope they don't have him friggin' diving off of the top of a cage.
No,
But
just a good,
let's get him in there. Yeah,
good
for sure.
technical wrestler. You know who I'd love to see him in with? Although I would, there's somebody else that I would love to see them blow off this feud. Angle Miz. I would die
Well, that'd be
to
pretty
see
good.
Angle.
I was
Miz.
actually kind of, I kind of want to see a couple of things. Like, I'd like to see him do a couple of matches, like lead up, where he gets to kind of wrestle. Like, it would be super fun to watch him wrestle like Gable, just to have like the new, actual Greco-Roman
Olympian,
wrestler
yeah.
who's in the WWE, like challenging a guy like Kurt Angle. That'd be kind of fun.
I mean, that could be that he could just be their manager leading up to WrestleMania.
Oh,
you
dude.
know?
Yeah.
And then maybe
Angle
he gets
managing American Alpha. Dude,
Yeah,
I'm
and then
all in on
he
that.
angle slams Randy Orton at the end. You know, that could be wild.
I'm into it.
All right,
I'm into it. I
here we
like
go.
The Miz though. I think that's a great idea because he's a pretty safe guy for him to wrestle. The match would be mostly grounded and it'd be a lot of good stuff leading up to it.
Okay.
Oh my God! Versus the Authors of Pain. Yeah, let's have Kurt Angle come back, and then just a 1v2 match against the Authors of Pain. All right, we got 3 more, Jerry. Now, I'm going to predict at this point that you're just going to nail these because
You think I'm gonna go? I'm gonna run the table.
All right, let's do this.
All right,
Let's
here
do
we go.
this.
Somebody's gonna get their ass whipped. This is Mark
you're on
Henry, opening up another wing to the Hall of Pain.
The Hall of Pain. That's right, dude.
It is.
I mean,
Mark
we just
Henry.
had some Texas wrestling here. Mark Henry was just recently out doing his thing. He only really seems to appear now whenever they come through Texas or in some backstage segments. You know, one of my favorite Mark Henry memories though was when he was heel, and it was him and
John Cena.
Why am I blanking on his name? Feed Me More.
Oh, Ryback.
Ryback. And remember when they were having like strength competitions? Remember they were doing all that weird stuff for a while? It was like they wanted to see, what was stronger, the brogue kick, or like, like they had like the little boxing thing come out and it would measure like how hard like the brogue kick was compared to like another move.
Yeah.
Remember they had like Mark Henry like have like a weightlifting competition with like Ryback. They're like, Ryback gonna beat Mark Henry or something. Like, it was like proving like how much of a monster that he actually was. I love that kind of stuff because the Mark Henry strongest man in the world thing was like my favorite thing, like pulling trucks and all that kind of stuff.
So great.
It was fantastic.
All right, here we go. This is 8. I got 2 more to go. Do you
Two
think
more, and then like we're right now you're batting 1,000.
I could run the table. Here we
I
go.
think you're gonna do it.
I'm just gonna spit my gum and slap it out of the air right now. That is Mr. Perfect.
Wow, Mr. Perfect, Kurt Hennig. I mean that one I thought might get you just because we haven't heard it in so long.
No.
But,
I'm
ready.
I'm hitting a home run. I'm shooting the J from beyond the arc. Like, come on. All right, here we go.
At this point, I wouldn't be surprised if you just put a garbage can behind you and threw something over your shoulder and it went right.
And that's it. Because you want to know what, Dills? Right now, I'm Mr. Perfect. I'm Mr. Perfect. Here we go. This is number 9.
It's the last one.
Oh, yeah, Dills. I'll tell you what. I know when you were trying to make the bit, you said, oh, yeah, maybe we can stump Justin with the Macho Man at the end. Well, I'll tell you what, Dills. The cream rises to the top. Oh, yeah. Macho Man.
All right, dude. I mean, look.
Listen, you better come back. You need to come back with some better themes, man. Come on.
I mean, I think I brought the best ones, honestly. But I think, okay, all right. These were like my favorites.
Yeah.
They definitely weren't deep cuts, like I said.
Now
but
we know.
I realize we got to try to stump. We're going to try to stump you, I think, next time we do this. See if we can pull some kind of, I won't go, like, we're not going to go to ROH or anything like that.
No.
We'll see if we can pull some of the lesser known guys. That would be pretty funny. You friggin' nailed it, dude. I'm very
9
impressed.
for 9, baby. 9 for 9. I just want to let everybody know that I am
every single time
undefeated in theme songs. Undefeated in theme songs. Jeremy Lundy says WCW themes. Absolutely. I would love to do those. I would love to do like just all 80s or all 90s. I'll tell you what, if you pull some stuff from Ruthless Aggression, which because I'm thin on that. I know Batista, I know Edges, but I'm very spotty on Ruthless Aggression. So
well, that was where I stepped away a little bit as well. So yeah, well, look, I'll go for some deep cuts, but I still want him to be somebody that you definitely have seen enter many times.
Yeah,
but just like that, the themes aren't quite as because obviously, I mean, the graduation theme of Randy, Macho Man Savage.
Pomp and circumstance, right?
Yeah, yes, pomp and circumstance. Thank you. I actually, funny story, when I graduated high school, I was in the band and I had to play my own procession song. I was up there in my cloak and gown or whatever, my hat and my gown, and I was playing, and then I after the song was done, walked up and joined the rest of my classmates.
Okay, so people are saying Aphex in the chat, and we're seeing this from Curtis LaRock too, that if somebody wants to do ocarina or melodica covers of themes that we can guess what they are, then please feel free. That would be amazing.
Absolutely. Do not let us hold you back from any and all amazing ideas you may have.
All right. Here, I'll tell you what. We actually
on this show.
We actually got to hustle a little bit right now. Of course, you can email us, justinrobertyoung@gmail.com. Put wrestling in the subject line. Mike writes, "Thank you for finally." Oh, I think we just this is our old thing. But he asked the question that we still haven't answered, which is where's our RSS feed? I know. This is all on me. We have not gotten it up yet. However, if you do subscribe to our Patreon, that is patreon.com/1900wrestling, you will be able to get your own RSS feed, and we are uploading all the episodes there today. So you'll be able to get your own custom RSS feed on patreon.com/1900wrestling. Dills, do you have anything that you want to get out there?
I mean, honestly, I just want people to go to patreon.com/1900wrestling because we're on the road to WrestleMania.
Hashtag Dills to
Mania.
Mania.
We need to get there.
Hashtag Dills to Mania.
Yeah, I'm gonna be promoting this everywhere I do anything. Most of that is on Twitter at Willie Dills, and you can also check me out when I stream. It's twitch.tv/WillieDillsSF. We're just gonna talk about this every single day, man.
Every day.
We gotta
Every
get
day.
there.
All right. Well, thank you so much. Of course, the 12 Dills of Christmas roll on. You are streaming every night with Holiday
Tonight's
Cheer.
8th Dills of Christmas we'll be doing, which is, of course, 8 Maids of Milking. So we'll be playing some milkshake priest decks on Hearthstone. And then also, later on tonight, I'll be doing a Hex stream with a buddy of mine who's opening his own Hex store, which is another collectible card game. So come on by and check it out.
All right, everybody, that's about it for us. Until next time, we will see you later on 1900 Wrestling. Oops, I screwed it up. It's a lot harder than it looks.
I want you to call me for all of wrestling's latest news and views. I've been around in wrestling for 35 years, and nobody knows wrestling like me. Remember the number
900 Wrestling!
Stupid idiots.
They call me Hara.
If you smell what The Rock is cooking.
And his name is John Cena.
Well, look at this, prima donna!
Thank God Donald Trump's a maniac. Diamond Club hopes you have enjoyed this program.